continue where we left off. And check to see if I can get any new... I don't think I got a single new fragment since last time. Yeah, I've got 2 fragments still. So there's no new stuff, meaning we can go straight to me describing everything we have. Nagito's frickin' dead. He's in the plush factory, he died around noon. There's a spear wound on his stomach, multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs, there's a laceration on his left arm, and a knife impaled through his right hand. So whoever killed him, he's dead as hell. Most of his legs were tied with a rope, tied together by pillars, prevented him from moving. His thighs were also covered in stab wounds, like he was tortured. The rope on his right arm burned off, however his sleeve still looks clean. The knife stabbed his hand. It's from the military base. His leg and left arm cuts were caused by the knife. Blood is splattered on his hand. For some reason, it cuts off in the middle of his palm. Also, the back of his hand is an unnatural blood stain that's only above the middle joints of his fingers. Very confusing. His mouth is covered with duct tape. However, the blood that splattered onto his face wasn't under the duct tape. The tape itself had crinkles in it as if he was desperately moving his mouth underneath it. So he was still alive before he got taped. Or he got taped before he was killed. Spears impaled through his stomach. An iron weight at the back. For some reason, the section where the body and cord touches bloody. The only section where the cord and weight touches bloody. A life-size Monokuma plushie on the floor near the fire's origin point. It's got a huge bloody hole as if it were stabbed. There's a pink, not red, line on the ceiling girder in the warehouse. A domino effect of Monokuma panels. A lighter caused the fire. MP3 player that was playing spooky music. Sonya secretly used one of the firework bombs. Monami was peeking at the whole thing. Monokuma knew all along the bombs were fake. He never revealed the fact to anyone. Diary, Monami updated, or did she? According to Monokuma, Monami can't write. He had gloves and a gas mask. A little blue piece of thin aluminum paper. Monokuma's special poison. Takes effect immediately, the volatility is low. Liquid is very dangerous when vaporized. And gas, it's heavier than air, breaks up in minutes and is susceptible to hydrolysis. Stored in a cool place. All 16 students on the trip are there. Monokuma forwards the traders page. You can't tell who the traders with this, and that's all we have. So, that's all we got. Let's go. Alright.
Now then, let's during the if you vote correct, I'll punish. Oh my, Monami, you've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon because you're a rabbit.
Wrong. Monami, what's happening?
Chesto!
Chesto. Nothing.
One more time.
Monami, are you okay?
How about this one? This will be my...
Monami?
It's used. Please stop. You're right. Now's not the time. The victim this time is Nagito, who was attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake.
Whoa, hold on. I'm getting a big flag because Monami's not moving. That means whoever has been controlling Monami this whole time, if she is controlled from somewhere else, is coming here.
Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
Interesting.
No, that might not be it.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
Stop this.
Don't say something so stupid. There's no way in hell I'm the traitor.
The traitor and the killer were Nagito. He's here, right? Are they the same person? Or is that just what the killer wants us to think?
killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
Duct tape proves
No, that's
otherwise.
wrong.
You dirty scrub. There's no blood underneath it.
But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything.
Right.
If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
I'm prepared.
Crap.
Ah, I just realized it. It's a
It's
trap.
a trap.
Trap?
Stupid Hajime.
Stupid. What do we have? Torture wounds, burned ropes, rival knife, duct tape, sphere of gun gear, profile.
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was, you'd obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
No.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Exact.
Pay attention, this is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him, they duct taped his mouth shut. Whew, that was close.
What's the Monokuma plushie?
Thanks to me, you guys didn't get caught in the trap.
Taped his mouth shut after getting information that sounds reasonable and contradicts the truth. Oh, right.
Pay attention,
duct tape.
this is how it went down. First, the killer tortured and got information about the bomb's location.
No. Oh, never mind.
Pay attention.
Ooh, I lost a
First,
lot of that.
The killer tortured and got information about the bomb. Then, after they killed him,
There
Allow
we
me
go.
to cut through
That was
those
the wrong
words.
I lost a lot of help from that.
No, there's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
what did you say?
So to pay
Who cares
attention.
about the duct tape? We might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors.
No.
We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
Why do you always side with Hajime? Do you have a crush on him or something?
We're in elementary school or
You were
something.
with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
Yep.
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds, which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so he wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
Correct.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Right.
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer?
That seems plausible.
If so, it's friggin' crazy.
No, they didn't just go crazy. If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
Most of the evidence.
The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
Correct.
You can't think of any other reason.
But who could have done that? When the fire occurred, everyone in this room...
The dominoes!
Yeah. And right after I opened... Which means, it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case.
Even if it was only a coincidence.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this. Some kind of I do not...
That's our Miss Sonia.
Hush you!
Alrighty then.
Damn right it is!
Alright, Monokuma Dominoes is probably going to be part of this. Panels. Frickin' 7 bullets.
The direct cause of the fire was... the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
The
Yeah.
killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Okay.
Some kind of setup?
Okay.
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter.
No. Oh shoot, that's a agree statement. Oops.
Crap!
The direct cause of the oil lighter found
The killer used something lit the curtain on.
some kind of setup.
Did they use the oil?
They probably just threw. Based on the shape of that oil, it can stand upright while the
If they tipped over the lighter, it could have ignited the curtain.
some way. Maybe they used invisible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
No, sound waves. I didn't read it. No, I messed up. All right,
The direct cause of the oil lighter found
The killer used something lit the curtain on.
some kind of
See
setup.
how
Did they
much the
use the
thing
oil?
moves.
They probably just based on the shape. It can stand up
If they tipped over, it could have ignited.
some way. Maybe they used invisible.
There should have been a way to tip.
Or perhaps opening the door caused.
Correct, Sonia.
I agree with that.
I agree with you. I've agreed with Sonia so
I
much.
also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan.
No, it wasn't wind.
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels.
How would they get out though?
A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right?
Correct.
It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line. Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Does that mean anything?
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
Domino effect. That's a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
A domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
And also specialists used to make pretty designs and crazy stuff that I would never be able to do.
In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second. And from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer...
Music! MP3 player!
I see! You're talking about the MP3 player, right?
Yes!
That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
Genius. Fire!
That's it. So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling.
But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also...
Open it slowly. Not opening. Something blocking the door? It's a trap. What happened to opening it slowly?
Ah, so the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel.
And
Correct.
when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter.
Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire.
You don't look so...
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door.
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
But the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
You're right. How would they escape?
Is that...
It's a major problem.
Door was the only entrance to the warehouse. The killer couldn't
I
have left.
see! If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Now that you mention it.
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
No, everyone was with us.
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Yeah.
Based on the patterns up until now,
You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
Huh?
You don't mean...
If that's true, it's murder.
Haji...
First, we set up the domino effect. There's only one person who could have done that. Are you kidding me? Nagito?
This is my answer! What if it was Nagito?
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
He wasn't just the victim. Maybe.
Huh?
Not just the victim.
He was the victim. And he was the perpetrator, too. Maybe.
I like
Are
the
you
maybe.
saying this was a suicide? His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget? Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
I mean, he was completely and entirely insane.
But Nagito might do something like that, don't you think?
Sure, I'd buy it.
That's not the issue, even for a creep like Nagito.
Yeah, you're right.
Ye
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
needed. That's not necessary at all.
It's impossible if you think about it, but I feel like I'm overlooking something. What am I overlooking? Torture wound, the rope. Is it the rope? How did the rope get burned?
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
Quiet, you! Okay. Our assumption that he committed suicide is right. He should have tied himself up too. That's okay, right? Burned rope.
That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
Nope, not the burned rope.
Crap! To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
tying just the legs is one thing, but
The lighter. The lighter, and then there's the torture wounds. Later, the pipe rope. Each rope is tied to the pillars.
tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
No, it's not that.
Crap! To actually tie up your... That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is tying both arms would...
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by your...
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
Maybe it's the burned rope at the first statement?
To actually tie up your own arm...
Oh, it is!
No, that's wrong.
One of the ropes is partially burned.
Hold on a sec. Isn't that premise flawed?
What?
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms.
Yeah, only one of his arms.
The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.
That was just burned by the fire.
It burned because of the fire. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it.
Use the burnt rope as a trap. His sleeve!
I see! Take a close look at his right sleeve.
Okay.
Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree?
Partially where I was expecting the trial to
A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right? He was able to move it freely.
Yeah, that should be the case.
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
Hello?
That's definitely wrong.
I agree with Fuyuhiko entirely on this point.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
Oh, what's Can we solve the murder
That's not
first?
what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito. I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know?
It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand.
Ah, that much is obvious.
Hajime, you tricked me. Give me back that Benjamin.
You're paying me to... What? She tried to charge me and she wants the money
Hold
back.
on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up.
If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest.
I don't have that kind of money. Way to stab yourself using your right hand. There's definitely an answer for this. There is? Tortured, wounds, burned, whoop, survival knife, plushie. Did he use the plushie?
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way? Is he a throwing knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife somehow and slammed his right hand down on it?
Propped it onto what? If he just propped the knife, he could have used his bound left hand.
If you're tied up, your arms won't bend that easily. We don't know if his left hand could even reach his right hand.
Nagito can only use his right hand, and how did he do it? I'm
Even
thinking
if
it might be the
Nagito's,
plushie.
how could he stab his...
If he threw the knife and let the knife, could he stab his hand out? Is he a throwing knife? Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
There we go.
I agree with
It
that.
was the bear. The first time I ever agreed with Chiaki, because she doesn't speak during the consent sections.
The life-size Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach.
And it was covered in blood.
He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it. If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
And then he used the spear to make it go away.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
A bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand.
The spear?
The spear. Basically, if you think about the order, getting killed by... If that's true, he can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into...
Then he probably took the spear first, and as he... If
No!
you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Okay. Alright. This trial's had too many innuendos already. Soda, don't you say a word.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch all that.
Soda?
Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
I can't believe this is actually happening in this trial.
Say it one more time.
No!
Hey, bastard, you better cut it out.
Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear. It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stab into your right hand,
So you're saying it's impossible?
Not impossible. The spear has a weight to it.
but no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
Oh... To think that one of us could kill someone with such...
You say you can't believe it, but that's why you keep getting betrayed.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone. If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
But
Get sassed,
it's
kid.
just as... This might also be the same.
Then are you saying there is a killer?
Of course that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
Shut up,
As
Soda.
Kazuichi said, but even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone.
Okay.
No matter how many times I may be betrayed.
I also want to believe that there's no killer. But suicide is unimaginable.
Do you really think so?
But you said it too.
I did say difficult. I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
What?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by my... That's how. Everyone working together.
She's right. We made it through several ordeals till now by doing that. Then even
All right,
now,
let's do this.
let's do this. Probably gonna be the spear. Never mind. What on the left hand?
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and think this through.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand.
Wrong!
No, that's wrong.
He could have been holding on to the rope wire thing the whole time with the spear.
Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
Just look at the blood marks.
Why?
But there was something off about his left hand. The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange?
Like he was holding
He only
something.
had blood on the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
Correct!
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
Right.
That settles the description of that bloodstain, but it's not the only unnatural bloodstain. Look, there's blood on the back of his hand, around the middle joints of his fingers.
Like you said, it looks like an
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit. If there's blood on his palm, and the back of his...
What was his hand doing? Gripping!
I see! When the blood splattered, he was probably
my
gripping
health.
with his left hand. That's why there's such a strange-looking bloodstain on his palm and the back of his hand.
Was he grabbing his front tail?
No! No!
Perish the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear!
Not the spear, the wire.
Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild. He probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
The wire of the spear, you mean.
But even if he held the spear with his tied up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab
He
himself.
dropped it from the ceiling.
Hey, Chiaki, what do you think? Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy.
At times like this, you should always strike from a good angle. Just like fixing an old TV.
Oh, I got it.
Huh?
Yeah, like I thought. It's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear, I think. However, what's important...
What section of the spear was he holding on to? Clearly, the
I
cord!
see! That's it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
Say, Nagito's hand?
Isn't the size of that cut-off section about the same size as a human fist?
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping. And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
Correct!
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
No, he dropped it from the ceiling!
That is where the clue to solve... I am sorry. It seems we are stuck.
At a time like, how about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
Okay.
That's a long... One step at a time.
Let's focus on the spear first. Namely,
How it was
How it was positioned. It's facing up, stabbed through his stomach. Just before that. Could it be? Hangman's Gambit for this? Oh, Logic Dive. Okay. Whew. These are a little easier. Woo! Ah! 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 Question 1. Where was the spear? Above him. This crazy punk may have actually killed himself. What are those? Oh god, they're not good things. They're not good things. Ah! Whew! I'm not dead. Besides the spear, what else was above Nagito? The ceiling girding. So this was just an elaborate suicide? Oh! Oh god! I don't like these moving target. Damn it! I don't like the moving ones. Oh god! Question 3. What connects Spear's cord? I don't think his hands could reach the ceiling girder, so I'm gonna go with the cord. Got him! Attaboy, Hajime.
It's all coming together.
Figuring out what I thought of in the course of 20 seconds after we figured
The
out.
spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up. It must have been perpendicular to him just before that.
Right?
Perpendicular. In the middle of the air?
If Nagito did that all by himself,
That'd be awesome, but he probably used the ceiling girder directly above him.
True.
Nagito probably slung the cord over the ceiling girder, and using that as a support, he hoisted the spear directly above him. And if Nagito let go of the cord, the spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was laying face up.
I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup.
You mean a pink streak?
The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling. So, how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
Are you serious?
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that. If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was. Why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear to pull off his trick?
Then, this is for real?
It would seem so.
He really... Every single wound on his body. That was all him?
Yeah. I'd buy it.
not just that, he did all that while he was gripping a spear? That spear should not have stabbed Nagito until the very end, which means Nagito wounded himself while he was gripping that spear, right?
Did he put the duct tape on his mouth, too?
Probably.
He probably covered his own mouth so we wouldn't hear him screaming in pain.
Did he need to go that far? That's beyond crazy. Why would he do that to himself?
He's crazy, that's why.
He was probably trying to get us to make a mistake. By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us toward the wrong answer. His goal was to get us all executed.
Wow.
And that...
Did he want us to die that bad?
Yep.
That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
Starting to feel a little sympathetic towards it. Stupid me.
However, there is one thing I still do not understand. Whatever became of that?
He was probably planning to kill the traitor along with the rest of us.
So why did he not just do that in the first place? If he had no qualms with killing everyone, he did not have to cause a bomb scare to reveal the traitor.
I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind this trick.
Partially.
He made us split up and search for a bomb so none of us would have an alibi. He created a scenario where any of us could have killed him.
He tried to make us doubt each other and tried to hide the truth behind his suicide.
Did
Also
he
means
cause
he
a
didn't know
bomb
who it was.
scare for that reason?
He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his delusions of grandeur. It's not that unthinkable.
You...
Yeah, if bastard Nagito committed suicide.
All done by
That should...
No, I agree that Nagito killed him. It's probably just my imagination.
So what are you gonna do?
What do you think?
Well, there's no doubt Nagito's You're right. It is not-
Then that means we're done with this last class. It's okay to read such a...
Then it's okay? It's understood.
No, hold on a sec.
Hold on. Why?
Sorry, just a little more. I can't help but feel like there's still something we overlooked.
Like who the traitor is?
But the issue here is who killed Nagito, right?
That's...
The mystery isn't just about who the traitor is. No matter how you look at it, Nagito's death is a suicide. But I'm a little worried, you know? I'm worried about starting the voting time while there's still a mystery.
Hey, what do you mean it's not about who the...
There's just one thing that doesn't make sense. Plus, it's something even Nagito couldn't influence. He couldn't even tamper with the evidence for it.
What's the one thing he couldn't have messed with? No, no, no. Nope, nope, nope. The plushie, no. Panels, no. The lighter. V3 player, maybe? Why do you have a mask and gloves?
You're gonna keep going?
Piece of evidence that he couldn't mess with. Is it the MP3 player?
Crap!
No. Okay, let's see if I can save. I can save. We are gonna save, and if I have to scrub this up, I will scrub this. File.
Crap!
Nope. Monami's notebook.
Crap!
Nope. Oh, I'm losing a lot of health from this. Poison?
Crap!
Oh. Piece of evidence he couldn't have messed with.
Crap!
Nope. Something he could have messed with. Blood?
Crap!
No. Lighter?
Crap!
And I'm dead. Sure.
We will never give up!
How much health do I get back? All of it? All of it! Alright. Piece of evidence he couldn't mess with. Okay. So it's not the accounts, and it's none of this stuff. Knife? No. Spear? No. Monokuma file?
I see.
Oh. Okay. I'm just
Is
gonna
it
keep
about
going.
the Monokuma file?
Yeah, that's it.
Huh? There is...
Well, he couldn't mess with it. Cause of death? Cause of death. Oh god. See? Shoot! Shoot! D. So much going on! E. A. Oh, shoot. Shoot! I needed that T. Cause of death! Oh my god! There were so many letters!
I got it!
It's too many letters.
In this particular case's Monokuma file, there's no specific cause of death.
Did he get poisoned?
Isn't that weird? Until now, the files always specified the cause of death.
But the cause of death.
Spear?
The spear in Nagito's stomach. It is obvious just by looking at it that it was the cause of death.
Maybe it's not included if it's not important enough to write about.
Well, Monokuma, I plead the fifth!
There he goes again!
But even during Gundam's case, and before during Nikon's case, the thing he purposely omitted from the Monokuma file was always the most important mystery in the case.
So what killed
Are you
him?
saying that applies this time too?
Hold on a sec. Are you suggesting again that his death wasn't a suicide?
You guys were the ones who...
No, I don't think it's a mistake to call Nagito's death a suicide, but it's not just a suicide. Come to think of it, did Nagito really commit suicide just to get us all killed?
Are you sticking up for him?
That's not what I meant. I mean it in a bad sense.
Bad sense?
I just remembered that his malice always defied our expectations, and that concerns me.
Yeah, I can see why you'd be concerned.
For example, would that malice just end here?
Probably not.
Huh?
Did Nagito's malice drive him to risk his life for a truth we'd reach this easily? I mean, this is Nagito we're talking about, you know?
Because you believe in his malice, I see. I get.
What friendship?
What should we do, you guys? I think we should keep going until
You're right.
Just to be safe. Guess I...
This is friggin' annoying.
Hush you.
But if you guys say you're doing it...
Hey, Monokuma.
We've come this far. Let's work hard till the very end. If we work together, everything should be all right. That's what I believe.
Oh, splendid. That's right. If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you.
Looks like we're about halfway through the trial, and the rest of the evidence is going to come from Nagito's reader.
No.
No, it's going to happen. We haven't done a bit yet. Most players probably figured that out too. You're the only one who didn't know. Isn't that right, Monami? How much longer are you playing to sulk? Alright, you passed. Friendship is mutual hell, and you can stand in silence and do something. Monami and I are the bestest of best friends. Don't say such stupid things. I hate you so much right now. Why do I have to be hated that much? That's the fact that you snap at me like that. I don't trust you at all. Not even a teensy tiny 1mm bit. How sad. Distrusting your friend is much more shameful than being betrayed by that friend, you know? You're not even friends in the first place. As your older brother, let me say this. You're not even my brother! High school rom-com full of guys. There'd be a lot of bromances. There may be some clues to that. I totally took the man bait! Not the man bait! Save the progress.